We've been waiting all week for this. Tonight, a decision from the Big Sky Conference, what it means for the fall football season ahead.
Plus, the Montana National Guard could see its COVID FEMA funds cut drastically. We'll explain.
And later, some big changes this election year. Hear how our local party leaders are reacting.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Plus, later we'll take you to Fergus County to see how one business is adapting to the pandemic. Thanks for making KRTV a part of your evening. I'm Tim McGonigal.
And I'm Hallie Schwinnard. First tonight, Montana is under a red flag warning. We're seeing very dry, windy conditions. Meteorologist Curtis Grevenance joins us now with a first look at the forecast.
Yes, everybody, red flag warning continues. If you've been outside at all today, you know that it is windy. You may not know that the humidity is very low. It's very dry out there. And fortunately, what may be our saving grace, the temperature not too hot. Actually, a nice refreshing air mass has moved in, but still some dangerous fire weather conditions through this evening, and then the wind should begin to subside around 9-10 o'clock. Do have a new wildfire, this one south-southwest of the Lincoln area, up around Dalton Mountain, Fields Gulch area. Firefighters from Lincoln Volunteer Fire Rescue, as well as the Forest Service, have responded to this fire. It's burning in very rugged, steep terrain here. A picture from yesterday from Rick Clark looking south towards the direction of Stemple Pass, and in that area of where this wildfire has been reported, you can see that lightning strike. Some pretty impressive rainfall, at least sheets of rain looking like they were falling in that area as well. Forecast headlines for tomorrow. Deja blue all over again. Wind and fire danger. Sunday should be gorgeous and pretty average August weather after that, meaning a little warmer weather, still a little fire danger, but nothing screaming hot or screaming dangerous as far as the fire danger is concerned. I'll have more on the full forecast later on in the show.
Tonight, health officials are announcing the fourth COVID-related death in Cascade County. This one is not related to the recent outbreak in the Great Falls long-term care facility. The individual was a male over the age of 65 with underlying health conditions. This brings the death toll to 72 cases, more than 1,500 active cases across the state, with 50 here in Cascade County, Hill County with 21, Glacier County with 17. And remember, the governor's order, face coverings are required in public places and counties with more than 4 active cases. So Choteau County, this means you as well, you have 5 active cases.
Big Sky Conference football fans will have to wait to get their fix. This morning, the league officially announced it will postpone its conference football season to the spring of 2021. The league announced that non-conference play is still pending further review, and the Big Sky is exploring modified versions of its conference football schedule in the spring. The league also supports the shifting the FCS playoffs to the spring of 2021. According to a Big Sky release, other fall sports will continue to be reviewed with the final decision made at a later date. Clearly not the news that teams were hoping for. MTN's John Miller has reaction from Bozeman.
News we've all been waiting for. It was announced earlier this morning that the Big Sky Conference would not have football this fall. However, it was announced that the season would be shifted to the spring. The Big Sky Commissioner, as well as Montana State's Leon Costello, talked about the decision earlier this morning.
Feel good about our decision, and now the work begins for us to figure out a good solution for football for the spring, and have started that process already this morning.
The tipping point for shifting the season to the spring was testing.
We were heading, I think, kind of in this direction based upon lots of things, but then when you start looking at the requirements for testing, that would have been virtually impossible for us to pull off.
What it allows us to do is get on campus, allow campus to open. We can monitor what's going on each of our campuses, and then make decisions at a later time. So I think having more time to be able to make those decisions helps us just to see where everything is at, especially on campus here at Montana State. When we put 17,000 students on this campus, it'll give us a good barometer of where we are and what we're going to be able to do.
If the spring season comes to fruition, Montana State will have to brave the elements until the weather warms up.
We've dealt with it before. What I'll tell you is we'll be ready and we'll be prepared. It'll be different, but I think everything we are experiencing this year, there will be nothing normal about this entire year. And so we're just going to kind of deal with it and having the ability to play football is first and foremost. And if we can do it safely, we're going to be ready to go.
For the fans who might not understand why the decision was made, Costello has a few words to say.
Hang with us. We need you now more than ever. Please understand that our student athletes look forward to competing in front of our fans because of the environment that they create, and we couldn't be more appreciative of all the things that our fans provide for us.
The Big Sky commissioner was optimistic about playing a spring season, but there remains a possibility the season could be shut down altogether.
It's hard to say here's the 3 or 4 things that have to happen, but there definitely has to be some changes. I mean, if we're in the same place come March that we're in right now, there won't be any college sports going on.
The Big Sky Conference is still trying to figure out if there will be playoffs in the spring, and also within the next week they'll decide on non-conference games in the fall. But for more information about today's decision, you can go to montanasports.com. From Bobcat Stadium, John Miller, MTN Sports.
And hear from the Grizz and how this decision will impact the University of Montana tonight at 10. You can also check out more at montanasports.com.
A new directive from President Trump will require states to pick up part of the tab for the deployment of the National Guard to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. MTN's John Riley spoke with the National Guard leadership about what this means for the state.
FEMA has been covering 100% of the National Guard deployments responding to the pandemic, but that is slated to end August 21st following a new directive from President Trump. From there, states will need to make a 25% copayment of total funds.
DOD will pay those funds for our soldiers and airmen that continue on duty. FEMA will reimburse DOD, but FEMA will bill the state of Montana for 25% of that cost.
So far, the Montana National Guard deployment in response to coronavirus has cost around $5.5 million. Guard personnel have screened travelers coming from out of state, assisted with testing and lab efforts, delivered PPE supplies across Montana, and constructed an alternate care facility that can be deployed anywhere in Montana. Depending on how long the pandemic continues, this change may end up costing Montana hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. The governor does have some options to address the additional costs. Traditionally, under state deployment, the money would come from the state's disaster fund. CARES Act money allocated to the state can also be used to cover the costs. According to General Matthew Quinn, the Guard had already been looking at reducing deployed personnel.
One of the larger and the longest that we have done. This has been a long mission that Guardsmen are still willing to do and still willing to respond on behalf of the citizens.
Quinn added Montana is still very much in the midst of a disaster. Cases are still high, and the state is losing Montanans to the virus regularly. Reporting from Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
Senator Steve Daines sent a letter to President Trump this week urging him to give the same level of funding to Montana that Florida and Texas will be receiving.
The Federal Bureau of Indian Affairs opened a new office in Billings to investigate cold cases of missing and murdered Indigenous women. It's the third of 7 nationwide to open under the Operation Lady Justice Task Force. Our local tribes are in full support. The Blackfeet chairman says this will be a path forward for providing justice to the many Indian families who have lost loved ones to either murder and/or abduction. The chairman of the Chippewa Cree tribe says we need better communication at all levels in order to better address these issues in Indian country. You can read more about this task force and more reaction on our website. Still ahead, business is pivoting and making ends meet during a pandemic.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Yesterday was a big day in Montana politics. Governor Bullock's announcement about mail-in voting was one of the many changes coming to the November election.
And it comes before Bullock and Senator Steve Daines go head-to-head in their first debate, which will air right here on MTN tomorrow night. MTN's Zach Shermley checked in with election officials and party leaders in Cascade County to see how they're reacting to the changes.
It only makes sense that we start preparing now to ensure that no Montanan will have to choose between their vote or their health.
Yesterday, a major update from Governor Steve Bullock about the upcoming November election. The governor announcing that all Montana counties will have the option to expand their use of mail-in ballots, although they will still be required to offer in-person voting. The move is similar to how state and many county election officers handled voting in the primary election back when the pandemic first gripped Montana.
We had record numbers turn out in the primary across the state of Montana.
Cascade County, one of several major Montana counties, already indicating a preference for expanding mail-in ballots. 82% of voters in Cascade County vote by mail using absentee ballots. That, according to Rena Moore, Cascade County clerk and recorder. Moore, who will recommend an all-mail-in ballot election to the Great Falls City Commission, says the city is no stranger to mail-in ballots.
It is no different than every school election and every city election that we've run for the last 15 years. Those are all full mail ballot elections.
Disagreement among local political leaders about the move.
I really don't trust the system when it's not signatures going to the voting place and not having absentee where you can compare signatures.
I think that it's a great idea to keep people safe, and I've never seen any fraud happen in Cascade County.
Regardless of how ballots are handled, some names may not be on them. Today, a Helena judge ruling that Green Party candidates may be off the ballot. That news in the wake of the Libertarian Party deciding not to nominate a candidate for Montana's U.S. Senate race.
I think the race is down between Gaines and Bullock, so I don't think that a third-party candidate would fare well anyway.
Well, they've always offset the vote.
It all comes ahead of the first debate for Montana's U.S. Senate seat, Steve Bullock and Steve Daines going head-to-head this Saturday. Local party officials would like to see issues brought up that affect Cascade County in particular.
Well, in Cascade County, we have actually a drug distribution problem. I think we've got to get a handle on the drug problem, or we're never going to get a handle on child abuse or anything else around the state.
I would like to see the economy brought up with all the COVID. I see small businesses closing, see what kind of jobs and things that we can keep.
That debate airs this Saturday at 9 p.m. right here on MTN. In Great Falls, Zach Shermley, MTN News.
Cascade County does not have an organized Green Party that we could contact, and the Cascade County Libertarian Party did not respond to our request for comment.
All right, fire danger continues to be high, and we could have a new wildfire in northern Fergus County. I'll have more in the full forecast coming up right after this.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenens.
All right, welcome back, everybody. You know, it was a very windy day out there today. Comfortable temperature-wise, 76 right now. Beautiful sunny skies in Great Falls. Wind gusts have been up to about 40 miles per hour. Look at these current temperatures, 60s and 70s, a little warmer into eastern Montana. Don't worry, you'll cool down as well. And you can see that wind mainly coming out of the west, maybe a little bit off towards the west-northwest here. These are the sustained wind speeds. Gusts 30, 40 miles per hour. We had some gusts up around East Glacier earlier of 64 miles per hour. Look at the humidity too. 20% is dry. When you start getting down below 20%, like 13% in Jordan, 15% in Glasgow, 16% in Lewistown, that is extremely dry air. The combination of the dry air and the wind leading to the possibility of rapid wildfire growth here. Nothing really on the radar as far as showers or thunderstorms go, but just saw this on a satellite here. I do not have much information. We are working on getting information about this here, but there is a large smoke plume extending across northern parts of Fergus County here, very close to the upper Missouri Breaks. And we are working on getting some information on that potential wildfire right now. And we have confirmed that there is a wildfire again southwest of Lincoln area. Last report it was only about 4 acres, but in conditions like this, wildfires can rapidly take off. One front came through. This brought the thunderstorms and the lightning that may have been the cause of a couple of these fires here. But now we've got another front that will be coming through tomorrow with another round of wind. Not much in the way of moisture or thunderstorms with that front. The big picture, a lot of western parts of the United States under red flag warning conditions, and on the East Coast it is the complete opposites, where we've had too much rain after Isaias came through, dropping as much as nearly 10 inches of rain in some areas. So let's look into the future, shall we, into this upcoming weekend. Tonight, clear skies, and the good news is the wind should subside here tonight. However, the bad news is Deja blue all over again for tomorrow with another round of wind coming through. Partly cloudy skies, not much of any thunderstorm activity here, but another round of wind, meaning very high fire danger tomorrow. Please be careful. Heading into Sunday, it's mostly sunny and we don't have as much wind. So looking at the wind forecast, look how it dies down here tonight, getting close to midnight. Many areas looking at light wind, if not calm, through the overnight hours. And then watch as we go into tomorrow afternoon, that wind increases and the fire danger will increase. Fortunately, it does not look like we've got a lot of wind here for Sunday. Here's the forecast for tonight. A refreshing night. Temperatures in the 40s will help firefighting efforts here. And for tomorrow, we're up into the 70s and the 80s. It's a warmer day. Wind almost as strong as it was today. Air probably about as dry. So dangerous fire weather conditions for tomorrow. Sunday, high pressure moves in and we'll have lighter wind and cooler temperatures. Look at these highs, only in the 70s, 60s above about 6,000 feet. And for Monday, a little warmer. It still is August here, mostly sunny skies. Into Tuesday, temperatures going back up close to 90 degrees with a southwest wind that will also increase up to about 20 miles per hour. So here's the 7-day forecast. 81 for tomorrow with high fire danger, lower fire danger, lower temperatures, lower wind on Sunday. It's really going to be a beautiful day. And then we're back into the 80s next week. Next chance for a couple of storms on next Thursday.
Still to come, the challenges of trying to fundraise during a pandemic. See how Big Brothers Big Sisters are making it happen.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Coronavirus has forced many businesses in the U.S. to adapt, but for one central Montana business, expanding and adapting is their specialty. MTN's Isaiah Dunk takes us to Winifred.
Welcome to Winifred, population just under 200 and home to one of the most prolific wholesale sign businesses in the Northwest. Mid-State Signs has been around since 2009 and makes just about any kind of sign, from channel lettering and electric signs to clothing. Equipped with state-of-the-art technology and a personalized approach, they even do business for other sign companies.
When we started the business, the main focus was kind of retail, and quickly we shifted into wholesale because we realized that we were having equipment that nobody else had, and that fits our needs a lot better being remote.
Since 2009, Mid-State has only gotten bigger. It now has 10 full-time employees, and you can find their work in Idaho, Wyoming, the Dakotas, and even Arkansas and Ohio. It's also gotten more diverse. In the last 2 years, it's added a coffee shop and a new retail floor, more production space in the basement, and even 3 apartment units. And now with COVID-19, there's a new market: face masks.
I came back to the shop from delivering signs somewhere, and I said, I hate going into stores with people when they all have masks on, because it might be somebody I know but I don't recognize them. I said, we need to print a face onto a mask or something. So that's kind of where it came from.
And the masks are getting more popular.
Doing them for events, we're doing them for different companies. Everybody, if you have to supply masks for your employees, a lot of companies are having us put the name of their company on the mask. And they might do 2 or 3 masks for each employee, kind of thing. So we're having orders, instead of 1 or 2 or 3, we're having orders of 100, 200 at a time.
With COVID-19 cases continuing to increase, Wichman expects the masks to be part of the plan for a while. In Winifred, Isaiah Dunk, MTN News.
The COVID-19 outbreak has presented many challenges to local and national nonprofits who rely on social fundraising events for revenue. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Helena and Great Falls has felt the effects. In May, they had to move their Wine Crush event to a virtual format, but today at Eagle Falls, they were able to hold their Golf for Kids event as scheduled. Even in the middle of a pandemic, the annual fundraiser sold out with 36 teams teeing off.
We're really excited that we were able to go forward this year in the full capacity and not have to turn it into a virtual event. A lot of fundraising in the nonprofit industry has really been affected this year by the COVID outbreak.
And our Tom Wiley will have more on how Big Brothers Big Sisters has adapted its mission during the COVID-19 pandemic tonight at 10. Well, a grill focused around Great Falls' founding father will be opening in the Electric City. Owner Brett Haverland tells MTN the former Beef O'Brady's location has undergone recent changes. The new sign is up for P. Gibson's Sports Grill and Casino, and construction continues. They've dropped the corporate Beef O'Brady's franchise and are focused on being locally owned and locally branded. We don't have an opening date yet. Stay with us for the latest updates. And don't go away. We'll be right back.
All right, high fire danger with the wind over the next few hours. The wind will subside tonight, but pick back up again tomorrow. Red flag warning conditions likely will be met again for a lot of Montana with low humidity, high winds, and also warmer temperatures tomorrow. Highs today stayed in the 70s. Tomorrow we'll go back up into the lower 80s. Not too hot, but really the hotter the temperature, the higher the fire danger. Sunday the wind will die down, and look at those temperatures going down. And how about the next couple of nights? Comfortably cool down into the 40s.
Well, finally, an animal shelter in Michigan is posting these images from a dog's maternity photo shoot. Her name is Jazz, and she's currently a resident of Saginaw County Animal Care and Control.
The shelter says her pups won't be up for adoption until they're born. Then the family will need forever homes. If you're looking for a new fur baby, I did check McLean Cameron Adoption Center. 7 dogs, several cats. Great Falls Animal Shelter also has a few dogs, a bunch of cats, all looking for a family, guys.
Yeah.
Any takers?
Best investment you could ever make.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the gender reveal party.
There you go. All right. That's all the time we have. We'll see you back here tonight at 10.